Hey guys, okay, I'm going to do a quick little tutorial on how to set up your own pouring station. And a friend of mine asked me what equipment he needed. Okay, I'm going to go through it as fast as I can. First of all, you need a place that you can pour. I'm in a tough shed with pegboard on the walls with all of my paraphernalia. You are going to need, let me start at the very beginning. You are going to need a propane torch, okay? You can use propane acetylene, but it's very dirty, so I probably wouldn't do that. I have a propane air torch here that all you need is propane from your barbecue. You hook that up to the torch, it mixes air and propane into that guy right there. Pardon my mess, I am a slob. So that is a propane torch. If you don't want to kick out the money for a welding torch like this, which could be 300 bucks, you can go with these little benzomatic propane or MAP gases with a high quality benzomatic nozzle on it. Okay, you are going to need fire bricks. At least I think you should use fire bricks. What you do is you build an igloo of these fire bricks that people use in outdoor barbecues and stuff, which contains the heat. I put one propane torch through the side, so I always have a flame on the silver, and then I utilize the second propane torch, the big torch, to heat the mold. You'll need a graphite mold or cast iron mold of some kind. And then when that's good and hot, I put 2 torches on the crucible. And the crucible, I can do up to 20 ounces in a giant crucible. But generally, you want to keep it under 5. You'll need a crucible. I use Jets supplies for these are porcelain crucibles from France. And you'll need a whip to hold onto it. Okay, you will need flux of some kind to seal the crucible. You don't really need a heat sensor. You can probably get away without that, but the flux will be used to seal a raw crucible, which looks like that when they come. Okay, now you've got your torch, you've got your setup, you've got your propane. If you can't afford the Big Daddy torch, get 2 of the benzomatics. One you'll hold in your hand, and one I recommend keeping on the silver at all times. If you take the torch off of the silver, you'll ruin the pour. So it's got to be 100% connected to the silver the entire process. You'll need somewhere safe to pour it on because this will be very hot. I recommend a welding bench, which you probably won't want or want to buy and certainly won't want to carry, but something that will not burn when you put this extreme heat on it. You're going to need some gloves to keep yourself safe. You're going to need some goggles, which I took off and I hung right there to keep your eyes safe. You're going to need a smock of some kind. That's mine. Yep, there you go. Okay, in case you splash silver on yourself, you're going to need shoes and pants. And silver can pop, so when it can drop, it can pop, and it can scald you, and you can get, whatever, first-degree burns. So you got to be really careful of that when you are pulling that thing out of there, and you want to stand back a little bit when you pour. Okay, after you pour, you leave it alone for a little bit, then you pick it up with a gizmo, something like that, a grabber thing, and you come back over to your bench. When you're over to your bench, hopefully you have a nice steel plate of some kind where you will have, you can put your hot metal. You will need a scale to make sure that your metal is up to the weight that you say. You'll need something to stamp it with. Okay, these are my stamps, and I have many. You'll need a set of numbers and letters, big, small, italic, whatever you want, and then whatever fun stuff that you want to, you can, whatever you want to stamp your silver with, if you want to stamp it. If you really want to get involved, you can get to a 12-ton press here, and you can use those stamps to do a nice deep stamp into your metal. After you have stamped it and you're happy with it, you've weighed it, you will want a tumbler. Okay, this is a professional tumbler, and this is the unit it sits in. They're a couple $100. And you need to tumble your silver unless you want to polish it all by hand, which you can do. You will need a big dumb dog or a big small dumb dog to help you out in the room. And if you want to get into casting, you'll need a whole bunch of stuff like that. Okay, I think that's everything. I think you are starting to understand how involved it is to pour silver the old school way. And if you want to go new school, you just get yourself one of these really cheap electric furnaces and a mold and a couple of the other pieces of equipment here, and you can heat your silver up electrically. But that takes about 40 minutes to heat up, and you typically only get one pour at a time, and it is difficult to assess the weight of the pour unless you put exact amounts in there, and then you're waiting another 20-30 minutes for it to heat up. So it is not my preferred way to pour. I actually don't know how people cope with that monstrosity, but it does work. It's very cheap, a lot cheaper than the stuff I've showed you. Okay, there you have it. And anyway, that's how you pour silver. See you guys.